2 years ago, I was hit by a bus in Tanzania while I was on a motorcycle, and I had 2 surgeries, and I'm well taken care of. You know, I'm here, and this has happened in my travel, and there's so much to see. The things that you wish for, like, you know, they say Vegas is the city that never sleeps. I say Nairobi is the city that never sleeps.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your man Sham. This is Sham Goes Global, and today we have an interview with a brother straight from the United States. What's going on, man? How you doing today?
Man, I'm doing great.
Yes, sir. So if you could tell the people, you know what I'm saying, what's your name, where you coming from, and, you know, how long have you been here in Kenya?
Kenya, I've been here about maybe a year and a half, on and off and on.
Okay, a year and a half. Okay, not bad, not bad. So you basically, you've been here for some time, so you got a amazing story to tell and all that.
Bro.
Okay.
A story, a testimony, however you want to put it.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. All right, so why did you decide to visit Africa just in the first place? Like, what sparked that interest to visit Africa?
You know what? I get asked that question a lot. I get asked that question by Europeans, Africans, like, why are you here? My question is, why not?
Right.
Everywhere is promoted except, you know, they say, oh, go to Hawaii, go to Paris. Why not come to Africa? Look at me.
Right, exactly.
Something else is, when we're in America, when we're in abroad, we're called what? African American.
Exactly.
The first word in African America is what?
African. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what I look like being an African American that's never seen or been to Africa.
Exactly.
So I'm just exploring a little bit, exploring and learning myself. Knowledge is power. And it starts with knowing yourself, knowing your God is what I believe.
Absolutely. So when it comes to, you know, just traveling in general to Africa, you know, there's visa processes and there's certain things that you have to go through, because you can't just, you know, show up on the border and be like, oh, I'm coming just because I'm African American. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So how was your visa or e-visa process, and how long did it take to, you know what I'm saying, get back and you to get approved in order to come into the country?
It's really fast. The e-visa is really good, and I think there's less room for corruption and people putting their personal reasons why you should or should not be, like, why are you in Africa? So I think the e-visa, it works. I think within 24, 48 hours, you know something.
Yeah. It was definitely fast, and also for
fast.
me too.
It's really fast.
Yeah, it was real fast.
And it's smooth too. And it's like the visa on arrival. Like if you go through the airport, they usually have someone there to take care of you.
Okay. Yeah, and then also too, guys, like, just to add a little bit to that, they also have a 5-year multi-entry visa now for American or Black American citizens for Kenya. So if you guys want to check that out, it's a little bit more. It's kind of costly. I think it was it $180? I think it's like $180 if I'm not mistaken at the current time of this recording. But if you guys want to, you know what I'm saying, get a extended visa, then definitely check that out. All right, brother. So my next line of questioning, right? I want to know, how was that?
Real quick, rewind. I didn't know nothing about that.
You didn't know that? I'm telling him something new he ain't know about.
Hey, there's a 5-year.
Okay, yeah. So there's a 5-year multi-entry visa you can apply for, just like if you were applying for a single entry visa.
Okay.
And it just costs, I believe, like I said, 180 USD, and then you'll have just as many entries as you want to into the country. That's what I'm on now. I'm on a 5-year visa that expires in 2030. Wow. So yeah, and it's only for U.S. citizens, and that's the amazing part for Black Americans. You know,
that's beautiful.
Yeah, it just goes to show, you know, that Kenya is actually, like, really in cahoots with, you know what I'm saying, the U.S. to kind of get Black Americans, or just Americans period, into the country, and, you know, to kind of navigate and, you know,
that's really good.
Network. You know,
that's really good.
Yeah. Okay, so how was the flight to Africa, just period? Like, I know, like Kenya, there's maybe like a 14, but you've been to other African countries, right?
That's correct.
So yeah, how was just the flight in general, or like your first flight ever on the continent?
Yeah, we can educate them on this. Like, I came during a time where travel was hard. Like, I came during a time where airports were shut down, COVID was still flowing. So yeah, it was really crazy. People were getting tested. People getting locked up, quarantined. So I was in Amsterdam. I went through Amsterdam, and it was an adventure. I stayed over. I had to buy 2 tickets. That's when I found out that I had to buy a round trip ticket. So they held me over in Amsterdam for the round trip ticket, and I had to pay that money right there on the spot. So make sure you get a round trip ticket when you come. Don't buy one way, like I'm going for good.
Right.
I flew into Tanzania, and it was beautiful. It was like a beach. It kind of reminded me, Dar es Salaam kind of reminded me of Florida, like a tropical vibe to it.
Okay.
I had the beaches, and people were very nice and welcoming. And
they speak English there, right?
They speak some English, but they'll check you if you're not speaking Swahili. Hey, you're in my country. Like, okay, you own it. They're like, yeah, you're my country. Speak. Okay, yeah. So I'm learning as I go. But people also have to realize that the curriculum around the world, they usually put English. Even here, they'll put English as the first one of the. You have to know that.
Right.
So that's what they push. Anything else is an elective. So I have been learning some Swahili, but it's been on my own elective. I wasn't taught it in school. They don't promote it in our high schools or anything. So it's something, learning the language is something you're gonna have to do yourself. And then people are very nice. They'll teach you words as you go. When you're out in town, they'll correct you. If you say the word wrong, they'll correct you. So it's good. I have many teachers.
Okay, got you. So what was your first impressions when you arrived to Kenya?
My first impressions when I arrived to Kenya it was a feeling. It's a different feeling. I feel like it kind of has the feel of Atlanta. I saw the skyscrapers.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, I kind of got that Atlanta feeling. Wow, coming here.
Yeah, but like for me personally, I don't know if you've ever been to Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
It gives me like the people, like the bikes and the roads and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then it's like the architecture is more like at least to me, it's like a Los Angeles feel, especially like Westland.
The graffiti.
And all that. Yeah.
Because I've lived on the West Coast too, so I know what you're talking about. The graffiti things on the walls are like that, man. The art.
Yeah.
Many great artists out here, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of talent out here. Yeah. A lot of talent. Where did you stay on your first visit? And what would be some places you would recommend for foreigners when they come to Kenya to stay?
My first visit, I was staying places that I knew. Places like Holiday Inn. They do have those hotels out here.
Right.
Holiday Inn. Things that I was familiar with, yeah.
It surprised me as well.
So then I branched out a little bit, started checking out some of believe it or not, they have Chinatowns, they have a place for Indians, and they have little places for everybody, little cliques. That reminds me of California too, the cliques, like the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
You have this neighborhood is for this, and they say, oh, the Chinese is over here. This is where everybody has their little space, I guess. I've stayed in many hotels. I've stayed in the upscale hotels, and I've stayed in some that I kind of was watching my bags. Right. Watching my back. You get warned by the drivers as well. They say, hey, watch your phone. So.
Yeah, most definitely. When it comes to the second part of that question, where would some places be that you would recommend to foreigners coming to Kenya for the first time?
So I recommend the Westlands area, Kilimani, Parkland, Karen. They have a mall called the Hub Karen in that area. I even like Ruaka. Ruaka's nice.
Okay, I haven't been there before, but definitely need to check it out.
Oh, we can roll together, man.
Most definitely. In your experience so far, how is the food in Kenya? Like, I know some people that seen my my little Truth Exposed video, y'all was coming at me talking about the food in Kenya and all this and that. Oh, what do you mean? We cherish our food. We love our food. This, right?
Oh, you got the business.
Yeah, they was on me, man. They was on me. So, for you, how was your experience when it comes to, the food and the traditional foods and all that?
So I've tried a little bit of everything. The ugali, I've tried the samaki. I like it, man. I love it. I love the different food, and my thing is you just have to be aware of where you get your food from. You need to make sure it's like anywhere in the world. You want to make sure you're looking at the preparation of it, make sure it's clean. I haven't eaten much street food though. I mainly ate my food out in malls and things like that. So. Okay. But I've had a little street food and I didn't get sick. So.
Okay.
It's good.
So how is transportation in Nairobi? Like, how do you get around to places? Are they on camels, or you know what I'm saying? Some people might think, you know what I'm saying, especially in the West, they think that people in Kenya ride camels, or
really?
you know, some real old school stuff, riding horses, or you know, or walking. You know what I'm saying? So how do you get around in Kenya?
I'm gonna start by saying, man, the transportation is very modern. Like, you have a choice. If you wanted to ride a camel, you probably could. But there's choices. You have Uber, you have Bolt, you have buses. What is that other?
Matatus.
Matatus, yeah. You have that. I rode in a matatu. It's kind of packed.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
You know, I'm kind of used to that. Like in the hood, when I was in the hood, that's how we used to roll. You know, so.
Yeah.
But one thing about the thing for me is when if you used to having your own car, riding in some of the smaller cars, you got to get the extra large, you get the better price if you get the small one. So you saw me when I came.
Yeah. My man's about 6'3", 6'4", popping out of a small little compact car. Like, yo.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you're a taller gentleman and you're in these cars, sometimes your head will touch the ceiling. If they hit a bump, you might break your neck. You know? So sometimes you have to break that bread to get an extra large, get an XL. Me, I try to save my money, cut the cost wherever I can. So if my brother looked at me getting out of there, it was like he saw a clown getting out from the circus. But no, it's cool. There's modern transportation, and there's also nice cars everywhere you look. Mercedes-Benz, BMW. If you want to buy that, if you want to go big, you can, you know. Right,
and honestly, like, just to cut in real quick, that's a misconception that a lot of Americans or Europeans have. If you see Benzes out here, BMWs out here, Range Rovers out here, 9 times out of 10, those people pay for that in cash. You know, it's not a credit-based society, so it's like wherever you see out here, these people have like real money. Like they have money out here.
Oh yeah, there's money out here, bro. Somebody, like, I've seen some nice cars. I even had someone pick me up in them and say, I was walking, bro. Sometimes I have to use my feet, like, for a change, man. It's good though, man. It's very humbling, and then sometimes you gotta start from the bottom all over again to get, you know, to grow. So
absolutely. So is there anything that you didn't like about your first time being in Kenya?
I can't think of really anything. The only thing I will mention is there is a little, how can I say, a stereotype about us. They see us, they think you're coming with a boatload of money.
That American
regular.
tax.
There's something called the middle class in America, where you're not rich. You're well-to-do, but you're not rich. But out here, it might seem like we're rich.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where we get charged maybe double, quadruple prices for things, and that's just up to our discernment. You know, hey, y'all, just cut us a break on some of the prices. Man. You see the brothers, see us as a brother, right?
Absolutely, right, absolutely. How was your experience in Kenya as a black man compared to being in America?
Well, with a little study and a little education, you learn that you say as a black man.
As a black man.
So I did a DNA test because I needed to know more.
Right, okay.
What's behind this black?
Right.
Because I looked at the map. There's no country called black.
Right.
As I've traveled Africa, there's no tribe called just black.
Right.
And there's no cities or states called black. Nothing. So I'm like, what's in my blood other than this label, black? So I find out, I did the DNA test. I found out I have blood here in Kenya. I have blood in Congo. People check me with the beard. They say, oh, you Nigerian. I had a girl say, take me to Nigeria with you. I said, I've never been now. But I do have that in my blood. Like,
Nigerian?
We as what they call black people, we're mixed with so much. We come in so many different shades. You have light skin, you have dark skin. I'm on the lighter side. But they have something called the Bantu migration as well. I found out that I'm of the Bantu. Okay. And I've also found in my DNA test that I have Egyptian in my blood. Because they call Egyptians black.
Right.
But Egyptian sounds so much better, right?
Right.
Black.
Right.
No, Egyptian, they have a whole civilization. They have influenced mathematics and architecture and all types of things. So when you do that, it's connected to something. So that's what we need to do, I believe, is connect to something. Learn about yourself. If you don't learn about nothing else, you can learn 1 + 1 is 2, but learn about you. You know? Hey, I just made that up. 1 + 1. Anyway, but that kind of flow. Learn about yourself, and I'm practicing what I preach, man, as far as that. But as a so-called black man in Africa, I've been treated nice. I've been welcomed. But there are some prejudices. Being a foreigner that's never been, so there's a few prejudices as far as, you know, your income. They automatically think you're coming with Michael Jackson and Michael Jackson money. But other than that, it's been great, man. People have showed me mad love. I look around, I feel comfortable. I see they've embraced hip hop. That means a lot, man. It's very nostalgic to see Tupac and to look at the Matatus and see Ice Cube and Tribe Called Quest, and see all of these artists on the bus. I don't think these artists even know they on the bus.
Right, that's the crazy part, right?
They haven't even traveled out to see it, but they need to see that, see the love they're getting.
Yeah.
Ludacris, I see them everywhere on the barbershop. So that's love to the so-called black people.
Right.
We have some people who are famous, and sadly, we have some people who struggle. And I think even those who are struggling should get a chance to come to Africa. That, you know, there should be some type of organization to help those people who are less fortunate and be able to travel abroad. You know, see something other than the slums and the projects that they know. You know.
Right.
Anyway, that's my answer. Is that I've been shown mad love here as a black man.
So how would you compare just your experience being here in Africa compared to being in America? Like, how do you feel just people in general view you, or how people, you know, interact with you compared to the way they interact with you in America, or the way that they treat you in America?
I've said it time and time again, no matter where you go, the universal language is love, you know, and it's kindness. So I try my best to treat people how I want to be treated. So that's what it is. You kind of give what you get, you know. If you try to show love, you might get it back. 9 times out of 10, you're going to get it back. So, you know, I've tried my best to be on my best behavior in America and in Africa. In America, that's been my rule, and I've gotten love out here, and I've gotten love in America. There are a few, how can I say, like I said, stereotypes, but that's the way you break stereotypes is communication. You know, some people have misconceptions about us. They think we might be arrogant or this, that.
The thug image.
Yeah, they don't know if we're a thug, if we're balling or whatever. But it's like when you open up that line of communication, they really get to know you, and that's what it is. And that's what I prescribe, is that, hey, when you see a foreigner or a stranger, just talk to them. Don't come up with a stereotype of how they might be or whatever, because they might be kinder than you think. You know, I've seen someone paint pictures of us as violent, and not everybody has that.
Right, that
everybody got that switch,
or that thought. Yeah,
everybody has that switch not to touch. You know, if you flick it on, then you're gonna.
Yeah, right. Yeah, spaz out. Yeah, absolutely.
But that's it. Yeah, just communication is key.
Okay. Well, how welcoming are the Kenyan people, and did you experience any racism since you've been on the continent?
No, I can't say. Like I said, there's a difference between prejudice and racism. Prejudice is when you're prejudged. So some people have prejudged me, got to know me. They would see something different. But I've interacted with Indian people. Not many Chinese, but they're nice out here. And the Caucasians, they don't even have.
They don't act the same.
They don't act racist.
And that's why I be trying to tell people.
They are on their best behavior.
Yeah, when you come out to Africa, y'all, listen, y'all. When you come out to Africa, the dynamics switch completely. It's not stairs. It's because they're the minority at that point, right? So there's a thing where it's like, okay, like we're the ones that's running all of this, and they just, on their best behaviors when it comes to, just how they deal with people. So.
Yeah. Here, I didn't feel like really a tour, like I was standing out, as if I went into an all-white church and I'm the black guy that stepped in. Whew. Total silence. The preacher even stopped preaching. No, here is like I'm getting love from, the white person that's here is usually the person who's they're well traveled, they're educated, and usually racism comes from ignorant people.
Exactly.
On both sides, black and white.
Exactly.
If you don't know what's what and who's who, that's on you. Study. And you can tell somebody who, like I said, they can greet you with a smile or greet you with a frown. Man, I've had many smiles, and especially the women. They embrace. The guys, of course, you have to be vetted. They have to see what you're about, but they're very kind, and they've showed mad love since I've been here, man. For real. Okay. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Now, moving on to something that some of the subscribers have definitely been wanting to know. What is the nightlife like in Nairobi specifically?
It's wild. Hey, you thought they say it's the jungle, or hey, it's wild. It's like the things that you wish for, like, they say Vegas is the city that never sleeps. Mm-hmm. I say Nairobi is the city that never sleeps. Because there's something going on almost every night of the week. And not only every night, but all night.
Right.
I felt myself leaving the club at about 7 a.m. one day.
Yeah, it happens.
Like,
it can happen.
The sun is up. Like, whoa.
Okay. So nightlife is definitely lit up.
Yeah, there's a variety of things to do. Everything from clubbing to karaoke. They have a lot of talent out here as well. A lot of talent.
Okay, got you. Let me see. So do you see yourself living in Kenya long term, or is this just, a place where it's like you might stay for a month and go back, or go somewhere else and just, travel the world? Or do you actually see yourself kind of, setting a house, or buying a house here, or buying an apartment here and staying here longer term?
I would love that. If there's an opportunity, this is definitely a place that I would like to, if I did leave, I would love to come back. I've been around the world and back. So, like I said, this is a very nice place. I wouldn't have known about it if I didn't come.
Right, absolutely.
So I had to check it out. I did my DNA test and said some of my blood came from this way. So I came back. People say, "Oh, you don't speak like us. You don't sound like us." But it's all a matter of learning. And sometimes you have to travel and put yourself in the environment to learn. Some things you can't learn out of a book.
Absolutely.
You have to.
How do you feel about some Black or African Americans? I know, like, as of late or as of recent, it's been a thing where some have been saying, "Oh, we don't come from Africa for real. We were originally in America, and we're not Africans. We're based Americans." Or, what I'm saying? How do you just feel when people say certain things like that?
I say, I'm not going to say they're right. I'm not going to say they're wrong. But I will say they need to study just a little bit more.
Right.
They need to go back just a little bit further.
Right. I feel like it's a thing. I feel like it's a thing where I feel like Black people, we travel way before Columbus and all that. So actually, just because it might have been Black people there, they could have came from Africa hundreds of years before Columbus.
You know
and
what?
All that. So that doesn't mean
right. Everybody didn't come, but everybody. The first man was found here in the motherland.
Absolutely.
It's called the mother because it gave birth to men. It's the center. It's the navel of the earth. It's where the equator is, and there between Tanzania here and Kenya. It's very historic. I've been doing research on it.
Okay.
But I've also studied enough to know about Pangea, which was when all of the continents was together. If you look at the continents, they all
like a puzzle.
They all fit back together like a puzzle. When you say Indians, you go back to the word indigenous. What they call the black man is indigenous to land, period. Before there was any other man on earth, you can go fact check me. You can go anywhere on earth, and the first man that ever existed, Adam, Eve, all of that, would be what you now call simply Black. So when they say, yeah, we was on the Americas, yeah, you're right. You were everywhere. You were on land. Pangea was one piece of land, and the indigenous people on that all over, before earthquake or whatever decided, whatever made the continents divide. Some people say the Tower of Babel Some people go biblical and say the Tower of Babel, or all of the languages were separated and the lands were separated because people were trying to be like God, and they still are. But in a way, they're right. But they need to go a little bit further, because if they dig a little deeper, they'll find that, hey, you are your grandfather. You're your seed. You plant that seed, you're gonna get a tree, and then you're gonna get a fruit. You're the seed of your grandfather.
Right. So whatever that initial person was, that's who you. Yeah, that's who you are. Yeah.
That's who you are. You're the roots. They have a movie called Roots. Follow your roots. That's what I say to them. Follow your roots. Do a DNA test, and you'll be surprised of what you find about yourself.
Yeah, I know. I was surprised.
Yeah,
I was, brother, man. I was so surprised. I got traces to the damn Pharaoh, Ramses the Third. And
that's
Egypt.
me.
I
told you we brothers.
Yes, sir.
That blew the nose off his face. It was this bubble, round nose. It's just when you're closer to the equator, when you go scientifically, when you're in a place of heat, you need wider nostrils.
Yeah,
you need to take in more oxygen. When you're in a place of cold, let's say you say the Caucasus Mountains. You say Caucasian. When you're there in a place where wind is blowing and cold and ice,
it gets like
your body adapts to the environment.
So would you recommend other black men to visit Africa?
I recommend, if you want to know yourself beyond the label that other men have given you, which is black, Negro, nigga, whatever you've been called, if you want to shape your own destiny, you got to know where you're from to know where you're at and where you should be at. In order to know that, I highly recommend that you explore. You explore yourself, and I don't know, some people are Muslim, some people are Christian, but I just say seek the truth. Seek your truth. Would that be my religion? Is, I would say, truth seeker. Amen. Can I get an amen?
Amen on that one, bro. Amen on that one. All right. So, how are the women in Kenya compared to the women in America?
There's many type of women. What do you mean? There's many women here.
Okay, so what I mean is just like women in general, right? So in America, you have some women, at least in the black community, right? You have some women that are ratchet, you have some women that are, outstanding, that single mothers, all that type of stuff, just different variety of women. So how would you compare just the women in America to the women in Kenya?
You know what? I think the women in Kenya, they have a greater knowledge of self. Like, they know which tribe they belong to. They know whether they're Kikuyu, or they know if there's a Maasai woman. They know which tribe, so they have that knowledge of self. But coming from America to coming here, I see the same woman. I look in their eyes, I see those brown eyes, and they're pretty, man. They're pretty from the east to the west, man. They're beautiful, and I think they're the backbone. A lot of them, you have good ones and bad ones everywhere you go, but I'm seeing more and more of those who know that, hey, if I help my man, we're gonna be rich together. If I support him, if they see what's in him and boost that up, and vice versa, then they could be great together. And that's what I like to see, is a kingdom mindset. And I think that mindset is growing as we travel back and forth, as they go to America and we come back and forth and bridge this gap. I think the knowledge is increasing, and I think our people, the people who don't know anything beyond black, will totally benefit from traveling.
So, would you say it's possible to find love in Kenya? And that could be for either men or women.
Oh, you're gonna find it. Oh, yes, sir. You're gonna find love. You're gonna love somebody, but you got to make sure they loving you for the right reasons. That's just anywhere in the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know what they say, for the love of money is the root of what?
All evil.
Just avoid evil and pray that you avoid temptation, because there's a lot of temptation in the world. I won't say just say in Kenya, just temptation.
Yeah, temptation, period.
Temptation, yeah.
What would you say is one misconception about Africa? I
think there's been a lot of propaganda about Africa. I think there's been a misconception of poverty, because there's rich people just like anywhere you go. There's rich people and then there's people in need. But coming from where I come from, I'm in the media, and what I've seen is poverty. They capitalize on that image of feed the children, this and that. It's some strong, people eating. They're eating well. And not only that, it's just the technology. There's a misconception that Africa's behind in technology and just behind everyone else. And in this capitalist society, man, there's business going on. There's land being sold, and people are capitalizing here. People are thriving here. So I say, don't believe everything you hear. Don't believe everything you see. Sometimes you have to come see for yourself.
How much money should someone have if they want to travel to either Kenya or Tanzania, just somewhere on the continent? How much should they expect to either come with or spend?
That depends on your lifestyle. If you want to do it big, then bring your bank, because there's a lot of places to do it big at. Like, do not think there's only safaris out here. There's city life, there's nightlife, there's clubs. If you like to pop bottles, they got that out here too, but you're gonna pay for it.
Right.
So if you like the bottles and the models and all of that, then make sure you bring your pocket. I'm thinking about maybe safe, depending on how long you stay, it's safe to bring like maybe 3,000 to 5,000 USD. That's not including your travel, but to have a good time and to go explore, including your hotels for what it was, 2 months. Think about what you use in 2 months where you're at. And the longer you stay, of course, the more money you need to bring.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
If you really want to experience everything to the fullest, go multiple places, I think you should bring about maybe, I know I'm sounding like it's nothing, but 10,000 would be good. It's something you would save for, like it's, a great vacation. But that's if you're staying, depending on how long you're staying. So, but the prices are really good, especially for food. You're not going to spend that much.
Do you plan on visiting any other African countries in the future?
Yes, I would love to visit Egypt. I would love to see those pyramids and the Sphinx and all of that. They have the noses like us that they blew off. And my DNA test said that I'm related to Ramses, the Pharaoh Ramses III, not the Ramses II, the let my people go Pharaoh. But this one here is not even of that bloodline, but I did find out that that is one of my grandfathers, so I would love to go check out those pyramids and see if the tomb raiders left anything for his grandkids.
Damn, this man one of my long lost cousins, y'all. Y'all don't even know it, man. Brother, man, that's one of my long lost cousins in the building. That's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah. Okay.
Right on,
okay.
It's all of the nose. Look at the Sphinx. That's why the Sphinx don't have a
And the
nose.
crazy part is, you was saying you look like one of my cousins.
Yeah.
Before
you
you
look like
even
one
said,
of my people, man. I can show you, bro. I can show you. Like, that's where, look, that's when you erase that word black and you start looking into tribes and be like, hey, this is my tribe. This is part of my tribe.
Yeah.
I would say we're the lost tribes of Africa.
Mm.
How was it lost? With labels, with words,
The language. That's all it was, just the language.
We went from being Egyptians, Kenyans, whatever we are, to black.
Mm.
What's behind that struggle?
Mm.
You think black or black people, you think slave trade, you think civil rights movement, you think. I say dig a little deeper than black. And let the truth be told, we're closer to brown. We come in all shades. We do have some people that's black, like this shirt, but as you can see, I don't match it. I don't match my shirt, my watch, nothing. I love black. Black is beautiful. But I'm saying when it comes to your blood, your bloodline, dig a little deeper. Dig to those roots, because you're the fruit. You got to know what tree you came from. Yes, I would love to see. I would like to see the Victoria Falls there in Zambia. South Africa, for sure. I would like to go visit that place. Believe it or not, Israel. They have some problems right now, but that's North Africa. They call it the Middle East, but it's Northern Africa.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it. That's the Holy Land, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would love to go visit Israel. But I think they call it the Middle East now. They don't call it Africa, but it is. It is Africa. So yeah, I would love. Oh, I heard Ghana was good too.
Mm. Yeah, that's definitely a hot spot for Black Americans to go. Ghana and on the coast, the West Coast.
But you know something about you, and people like you that's out here on the East. This is a hidden secret. This is one of the best kept secrets.
It is.
To our people, to what we see on the media and what they promote.
Mm-hmm.
I believe West Africa was more promoted. They had the 400-year return back in, I think that was 2019. Year of return. They had the year of return. That's a promotion. So I think, and they made a lot of money off of that. I think the other countries should follow suit. I think that it's not just about the money, but it's about building and it's about unity. If we can bridge that gap, and you unite, I believe a lot of power will come back to the continent.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So this was an amazing interview so far. Is there any last words, words of encouragement that you want to give the people, or just your testimony, anything like that you could tell the people?
My first thing I'm going to say is always keep faith and put God first, and know yourself. Learn who you are, and there's no limit to where you can go. I'm still learning. I don't know everything, but I will say that since I've been here, like maybe 2 years ago, I was hit by a bus in Tanzania while I was on a motorcycle, and I had 2 surgeries, and I'm well taken care of. I'm here, and this has happened in my travel, and there's so much to see. Once you get here, you're going to want to see so much more. You want to continue to travel, because this is something our people haven't had a chance to do, is do a lot of traveling. A lot of people are like just locked into a certain lifestyle, a certain mindset. I say to expand your mindset and study. The more you study, the more you're going to want to travel, because you're going to see these places that you've learned about in history, and you're going to actually meet the people that may be your cousins. Maybe your
right, long lost cousins, right?
I'm talking to a cousin right now, probably. But yeah, that's it. Hey, put God first. If you don't love yourself, learn to. That's it. So yeah, I'm just like Tupac said, I'm just a black man trying to make $1 out of 15 cents.
All right, man. So tell the people where they can find you. If you got any social networks, or if they want to connect with you or hit you up, DM you, ask you any questions, where can they find you?
You can find me as Melody the Soloist. That's MELLOWDEE, the Soloist. You can find me on IG as King_Melody. You can find me on YouTube as Melody Soloist. You can also find me as Melody the Soloist on TikTok. Melody the Soloist. One word. MELLOWDEE, the Soloist.
Okay.
I'll be looking for y'all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you for your time, brother, man. Thank you for coming through and sharing your wisdom with us.
Word is bond. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. And with that one, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Check out that Patreon and check out the Discord. And yeah, I'm going to see you guys on the next one.
The very first time that I saw your brown eyes. Keep going?
Go ahead, bro. Keep as long as you want to, bro. Keep going. Keep going.
The very first time that I saw your brown eyes, your lips said hello and I said hi. I knew right there you were the one. But I was caught up in physical attraction, much to my satisfaction. Baby, you were more than just a friend. And if I am in love again, I will be sure that that the lady is a friend. If I am in love so true, I will be sure that the lady's just like you.
Okay.
Oh, my. Just playing around.
Man,
Just playing around.
I was like, I know that's the ending of the song right there. I'm like, all right.
Thank you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Peace out.